And that is totally unrelated to the
Hello and welcome to my Halo 2 final thoughts slash discussion slash random thoughts something or other video. And I guess I'll just kind of do same thing that I did in my Halo 1 video. I didn't get this game, but my sister had got Halo 2 and an original Xbox. I believe it was 2005. I don't remember exactly. I believe it was the year that Halo 2 had come out. And my parents got her 2 controllers so the both of us could play it together. It's kind of funny, actually. I never noticed this until I played it this last time. The very beginning of the game kind of starts out similar to Halo CE. I mean, disregarding the cutscenes and the context behind the story and all that, but Halo CE starts on the Pillar of Autumn and you're defending the ship, and then you have to evacuate and go crash land on Halo. And then in Halo 2, you start the game off by defending the Cairo station in, what is it, Outskirts. In Outskirts, the very beginning of that level, you get shot down by a scarab and you crash land. So it's kind of a similar start to Halo CE, but not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. It was just something I noticed. I really love how in Halo 2 they expand on the Covenant and their government and what their beliefs are. In Halo CE, it's pretty subtle. I mean, they worship Halo and they believe it's a weapon, and that's basically it. That was like all the information you really got about the Covenant in Halo CE in the game. But in Halo 2, they actually show you a little bit of their government and their leadership, their religious beliefs, and all that. I gotta say, Outskirts, when I played through the campaign this last time in my Let's Plays, and you can see in my videos that I have certain skulls turned on, and that made that made the beginning half of Outskirts really interesting, really fun experience, because I could use the grenades to launch the enemies, out of the map basically, or if I wanted to, I could actually have just launched myself on the buildings, and I could have skipped half of the map, but I wanted to play through it. I wanted to show you guys the level. Like when I threw the grenades at the hunters, and one of them got blown up to that little patio area up above the tunnel. And I had no idea where I was getting shot from at first, and then I realized that my grenade had actually blew him up there. I mean, that's just one little example of that. And then there was the second half of that level was kind of a pain in the ass. As soon as you get that warthog, driving by on the beach, as you could see, I would get shot from a turret and flip over. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That made that whole experience on the beach kind of a pain in the ass. It's like usually I want to just drive past everything, but I'd get flipped over and get killed, so I had to stop and actually kill everything, which I guess is more of a fun thing to do. I mean, driving past is, gets you through the level, but it's not as interesting as stopping and killing all the aliens. But it was pretty funny, though, because in Metropolis, the same skulls that kind of were a pain in the ass to me in Outskirts on that beach area, they came in pretty handy on the bridge on Metropolis at the very least. I mean, blowing up the ghost. I mean, not even blowing up the ghost, just blowing them off of the bridge. If I shot anywhere near them, they got flung 80 feet. And then being able to blow up the Wraith from halfway across the bridge without even having to get anywhere nearby it, that was pretty nice as well. It was slightly helpful. But of course, those same skulls had to screw me over later on in the level when I got my Gauss Warthog, and I kept repeatedly getting blown up from a fucking Wraith. Well, I didn't really know what it was at first, but I finally figured out after looking over it, it was a Wraith bomb that had shot at me, and it blew up right in the tree above me. And because of the skulls, the blast radius was increased, and that was blowing up my Warthog. It actually didn't blow my Warthog up, but it killed my Marines, basically, and I think it flipped me one time and almost got me killed. And fighting this, oh my god, fighting the Scarab.
Alright, for this, I'm gonna switch back to
I mean, not so much when I hopped onto the Scarab, that was easy enough. But actually trying to shoot at the Scarab at the end of the level before it stops moving, that was like impossible. I don't know what the hell was going on with me, but I just could not aim my rockets or anything. It was kind of a bummer. And I was pretty bummed out about that cutscene at the end
Well,
of
I hope you enjoyed
Metropolis,
this,
what
video.
343
If you
did there. I mean,
thumbs
back
up.
on the original copy of Halo 2, in the
Oh, that
cutscene,
is some bullshit right there.
if you have
Okay, whatever.
an
It didn't
energy
show an energy
sword
sword.
in your
So wrong.
hand
In
at
the
the
original version
time
on the original
that
Xbox,
level
it does
ends
show
and it
it,
goes to
but
the
fuck
cutscene,
this,
the
I
Master
guess.
Chief walks out of the scarab holding
If
the
you have any
energy
comments,
sword,
questions, or suggestions,
and
please
it
leave
looks
them down
really
below in the
freaking
comment
badass.
section. If you wanna see
And
more
I really
videos like
wish
this, please
that
subscribe to my channel.
it could
I
have
hope you have a
been
great
like
day,
that
and
when I
peace
tried
out.
to do it in this Let's Play, but I guess 343 did something to change it for that cutscene. It was weird because it didn't work for that cutscene, but it did work for the end of Uprising with the Arbiter and the rocket launcher. So I just don't know. Maybe I could try it again in the future with different weapons. Maybe it was just the energy sword they kind of messed with. But in the original copy of Halo 2, which I still have by the way, you could walk out with basically any weapon, and the Master Chief would be holding that weapon in the cutscene. It could be a needler, could be a plasma pistol, could be a sword, could be a shotgun, could be a battle rifle, which it was in my Let's Play, unfortunately. But whatever. I digress. But I love the way it introduces the Arbiter into the game. You know, this disgraced Covenant
Hello,
commander.
Welcome back to Halo CE.
Was he a commander? Or,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I think he was a fleet
Not
commander.
Halo CE, Halo 2. Wow.
I'm not the most adverse in Halo's lore, but again, I digress. Yeah, it was really cool seeing, you know, this disgraced Sangheili being stripped of his rank and all of his power and basically being sentenced to death. But the prophets see that they could actually use him, which was the case with a lot of the previous arbiters before him. And of course, being the Arbiter, you have old armor, so it's not as new as the other Sangheili's armor is, so your active camo only lasts for, 15 seconds, but they can just go as long as they want.
Alright.
Even with the infinite camo, it's like they're kind of useful. If you give your allies the right weapons, then they're pretty damn useful. I learned that myself. Again, that was actually a big difference between Halo CE and Halo 2. In Halo CE, your Marines were stuck with what they had. You couldn't give them better weapons, even if you wanted to. Maybe you can in SPV3, I believe it's called. I have yet to play that, but I think I'm going to have to check that out at some point in the future because it looks fucking awesome. But yeah, it was nice being able to give your allies other weapons. On Arbiter especially, you know, you give your grunts fuel rods and they'll kick some ass, maybe, or they'll blow themselves up. And then you give all of your elites swords for the Flood or beam rifles for the
Okay, jeez.
fuck it, swords for the Flood and swords for the heretic elites, heretic Sangheili as well. Although I did like how they had the ally, then enemy of Halo CE, they had him actually be one of the Covenant's holy relics, or he was an oracle to the Covenant, and interestingly enough, it was this oracle, quote-unquote, influence that made that Sangheili turn into a heretic. Because he was actually just showing him, you know, accurate information on what the Halo rings did, what their function was, and that elite was just like, oh my god, the Covenant are fucking lying, or the prophets are lying to us. They're trying to kill all of us. Or, heck, maybe they just don't know. Ooh, and I loved being able to play with ODST in this game. I mean, they only did it on Delta Halo, actually. Yeah, there were only ODST on Delta Halo, but even that was pretty awesome. Just getting to play with some hell jumpers. I loved that being the introduction to it, to finding Delta Halo in the game. You know, this game being called Halo and all, of course you are going to discover another Halo. It was pretty cool getting to drop down in the ODST drop pods as like an introduction to going down to Halo. Although why they couldn't drop those drop pods a little bit closer to where, well, maybe they didn't know where the Prophet was. I don't know. I'm thinking too much into it.
Yeah.
but I definitely enjoyed
Hello, and welcome back
that
to
level.
Halo
This is
2.
Delta Halo and then Regret. Both of those levels were both really fun. I still have no idea what that skull... I don't remember what that skull is called now.
Oh, maybe that's what that is.
It's the description of it, I believe, says
Before
punch
everything
that
blows
prophet
up.
up to 11. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what that skull is supposed to do. All the description says is punch that prophet up to 11. Does that just mean you have to punch the
you're
prophet
right,
11
dude,
times?
That's what I'm doing.
I'm not really sure.
Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this
It was
video.
pretty
If you did, please
interesting
leave a thumbs
seeing
up,
like
and
the
if you
end
have
of that
questions
the
or
after the
suggestions, leave them down
oh
below in
gosh,
the
that was weird.
comment section.
After the end of
If you wanna see
Regret,
more videos like this, please subscribe
the
to my
Master
channel.
Chief runs
I hope you enjoyed the
off the
video.
temple,
Have a
jumps
great
off
day,
the
and
temple,
peace out.
and falls into the lake, and then the Grave Mind grabs him and pulls him down. Now the Grave Mind was underneath that lake. I thought he was supposed to be inside the quarantine zone. See, he obviously was not inside the quarantine zone, contained. So again, I kind of got to ask, why were there not flood everywhere on Halo? Because he clearly is not contained in the quarantine zone if he was able to grab the Master Chief inside that lake, and that lake is definitely nowhere near the quarantine zone that the Arbiter went to in the very next level.
Hello, and welcome back to Halo 2.
And
This
yeah,
is
as a result of the
Back
Master
On.
Chief killing the Prophet of Truth, the elites who had been the Prophet's honor guard for what was like hundreds of years probably, or thousands of years, I don't know, they are being stripped of their position.
God, the brutes
But
are
of course,
like a bunch of
while all of this is happening, the Arbiter is still taking missions from the Prophets, of course, because he still believes in being faithful to the Prophets regardless of all of this. Even though he does voice his disagreement with the Prophets, he is still loyal to them at the same time. So he heads off to the quarantine zone, the library,
kinda holding
to,
different
of course,
prisoners,
first
I
he has to deactivate the flood wall, the sentinel barrier that is surrounding the quarantine zone, which also surrounds the library. Which, that has to be one of the stupidest things the Covenant had ever done. Closing or opening a quarantine of flood
Okay, there we go.
so they can get, I guess activating, or not activating the Halo rings to them. It's just the great journey, because, religion. But yeah, that was
Wonder how
kind
long
of
that
stupid of them to
jackal
do.
remains
I
in
guess,
blood.
their religious beliefs were more important, I guess. It's their religious salvation, so why the fuck would they care? But when you think about it, if they did activate that Halo ring, then all sentient life in the area would be wiped out. So I guess it would kind of solve the problem,
Oh my gosh.
in a
what was all that
sense.
over there?
but it would also kill everybody. I mean, I don't know.
Looks like
You'd
places
kill all
I'm
the
gonna be
flood, but
going
you'd kill
to,
everybody at the
actually.
same time. So yeah, I don't know. Not really a solution.
Wonder.
That's like having a spider on your foot and shooting where the spider is to get rid of it. Or rather, strapping TNT to your leg because there's a spider on your foot.
Okay.
And another thing about those sacred
Ah.
icon and the freaking quarantine
What the
zone. God,
fuck? Whoa.
both of those levels were such a
ETF
pain in the ass,
Okay, let's
especially because of the damn skulls.
something besides
Mostly the elevator,
okay.
elevator
Why are
sequence
there-
in
Why is there nothing?
quarantine zone at the end of the level
No!
before you get to the library. That
Oh,
was
fucking
just
shotgun. Of course.
non-stop nonsense and
Definitely
bullshit.
need help now.
God, it was like every
Whoa.
I think like at one point
my
every
fucking
15
God.
seconds I was getting blown off of the ledge of that thing by grenades or a flood meleeing me and throwing me off.
Oh, I don't
Basically,
even know
it's
how many
just
times
oh
I've
god,
died now.
it was ridiculous. But then with the library though, now did Miranda and Johnson have to do anything to actually get to the index? Or did they just go straight to the index? Because if they just went straight to the index, then what the hell is the point of the library in Halo CE? And I mean the level. I mean like what you had to do. I talked about this in my Halo 1 video.
Did the flood?
But no, it was fun. It was a fun level. Very fun. The end of Quarantine Zone is a lot more fun if you can get that Goss Warthog, but I ended up destroying it. So it was kind of a lost cause. But whatever.
Hello and welcome
seeing
back
the
to Halo
Gravemind for the
2.
first time,
What the hell?
Nasty. Especially in the Anniversary Edition. I love what Blur Studios did with the Flood. They just look amazing. Like, amazing job. How did they get a hold of the Prophet of Truth's body as well? Because that temple was glassed. How would his body have survived that? That doesn't even make any sense to me at all. But anyway, after all that discussion with the Gravemind, he sends the Master Chief and the Arbiter off, and first we get to play as the Master Chief. Oh my God, as the Master Chief on their mission to stop the Prophet from activating the Halo Ring. And luckily enough, the Gravemind actually does his teleportation a little better than Cortana does, and he manages to get me, like, literally right next to the Prophet, and I even get a hold of a gun almost immediately, but of course they escape, so gotta run all through fucking High Charity with a couple of Marines that I managed to rescue, while I'm also seeing elites and brutes all fighting each other, and also getting blown off of the ledge a couple times because of the skulls. That was definitely an interesting level.
I also have a sword, though.
Really fun, though, because you get to see the Singhili fighting the brutes, and so on and so forth. And then you can actually join into the battle too. And the ending sequence in the Arbiter's mausoleum chamber, that was awesome. Although a little disappointing that they changed the music from the original Halo 2. I really liked these. The "Blow Me Away" by Breaking Benjamin. That was actually a pretty nice fit for that scenario.
That is
And again, with the swapping weapons with your allies, that level again was actually a great example of that. If you give your Marines the right guns, they can kick some serious ass. I mean, as you can see, I had some Marines kill a fucking hunter all by themselves. I couldn't I had a brute shot, I believe, so I couldn't really get a shot on the hunter without either killing me or killing my Marines. And they both had beam rifles, and they just shot the motherfucker until it died. And that was... I was really impressed, quite frankly. Because I have pretty low expectations for the AI in Halo 2, and the fact that they were able to take out a hunter by themselves is pretty awesome. Although they probably did get a little bit of an assist from the other Covenant that were fighting the hunter, but still, it's impressive. But again, though, I mean, if you give your Marines or your elites and grunts, if you give them the correct weapons, like beam rifles or fuel rods, rocket launchers, sniper rifles, or shotguns, then they'll kick some serious ass. But it's got to be the right weapons. And now that I say that, probably shouldn't give them rocket launchers or fuel rods, especially if you're playing with Cowbell and all those other skulls, because I had quite a few allies blow themselves and me up. So, yeah. And you learn that the Gravemind actually intended to just take an Amberclad the whole time, and was rather just using the whole thing about the Index and the Prophet as a distraction for the Master Chief and the Arbiter, so he could get his hands on the Amberclad, and then he used that to get in High Charity, which you actually see right above your head, basically, while you're running through High Charity, and you don't get to see it crash, of course. That would be cool, but... And then, I think it's like a couple minutes later, towards the end of the level, Cortana tells you there's confirmed reports of a flood inside the city, so it's kind of like, oh shit. Alright, let's get out of here. And then we get on to see what the Arbiter's up to after he got teleported, and this level is Uprising, and I gotta say, well, what is it? People have really argued that Uprising is, like, the best level out of any Halo campaign ever made, and I'm pretty inclined to agree with them. It's a pretty fun level. Very, very exciting level. Although, again, with my skulls on, it was kind of a pain in the ass getting thrown up in the air from brute shots and then falling to my death, or getting thrown off ledges from brute shots or melees or grenades. That was kind of a pain in the ass. Although, it was really nice being able to play with the elites, so that way I was able to give them all brute shots. That made things a little more interesting. Now, saying that Uprising is what a lot of people consider to be the best Halo level, I think that not quarantine zone. I already talked about the quarantine zone. What is it? High Charity? Whatever the name of the level that's the last level you play as the Master Chief in Halo 2. I don't care. Whatever that level is, that's kind of my favorite level in Halo 2. At the very least, Halo 2. Because of how goddamn terrifying it is. Like, yes, the library is a scary level in Halo CE, but High Charity is way, way more scary and terrifying, because it is like pitch black in a lot of parts of the area. And of course, I forgot I had a flashlight that I could use while I was playing, so I'm just running through pitch blackness, basically, fighting Flood, and listening to the Gravemind talk and the Prophet talk, and hearing the Covenant getting swarmed by Flood every now and then. I mean, that was kind of a terrifying experience. And, seeing the Gravemind inside the city, actually, I'd never noticed that out of all the times I'd played it previously, until I ran through that room and saw the Gravemind's tendril things hanging down from wherever he was. I mean, that was...
Is that Gravemind?
I mean, not awe-inspiring or jaw-dropping, but just like, holy shit. In the last level, playing as the Arbiter, I love this. My sister and I had discovered this when we used to play Halo 2 all the time. In the very end of the level, when you're flying around in the Banshee, you can take the Banshee through the door that Johnson blasts open. You can fly the Banshee through that and take it inside the control room? Yes, I believe it's the control room. I don't recall exactly. I believe it is the control room. But yeah, you can take the Banshee into the control room and then use the Banshee to take Tartarus down, which I was feeling lazy, so I fucking did that. And it's lazy, but it's hilarious. And then, of course, we kill Tartarus and stop Delta Halo from firing just in the nick of time. And then 343 Guilty Spark, who, made his return in the game, he informs Johnson and Miranda and the Arbiter and whatever elites are in the background that we, stopped the firing of that Halo temporarily. But now, all the other remaining installations have been primed for remote activation, and they can be fired on command. But not from Delta Halo. They have to go and find the Ark, setting up a stage for Halo 3! And of course, once all that's done and over with, we finally get back to the Master Chief, and we see that the Forerunner Dreadnought is heading back to the Earth for, to finish what they started, as the Prophet said. And immediately, Lord Hood makes contact with the Master Chief, or Master Chief makes contact with Lord Hood, rather. And Lord Hood asks him what he's doing on that ship, and the Master Chief says he's finishing that fight, or this fight. And then the screen goes black. Like, what the fuck? First time my sister and I played that, we were borderline, like, not screaming, but, like, yelling, like, of all fucking places, you stop it here. Why? Why? But that being said, that was an awesome conclusion. I mean, it totally sets up the stage for Halo 3 in an amazing way, and it got the both of us pumped up for Halo 3. But I think that's enough rambling for this video. If you enjoyed this random thoughts and commenting on Halo 2 and my experiences in the campaign, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, or if you just like my other videos and want to see more videos like that. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them down below in the comment section. I hope you have a great day, and peace out.
What the hell?